podcast. Um, we are here with Ivan from Serbia, David from Italy, Viola from Italy also, Raminta from Lithuania, and Nuria from Spain. Welcome again. I will start with you, Nuria, if you doesn't mind, if you don't mind, sorry. Um, and I will start with uh, an open question. Can you imagine a world without news?
Yes. So I don't think so because I think it's important to be in I don't know uh,
Informed.
informed. Yes,
Informed?
to know
Why is
uh,
it important? Sorry to interrupt you, but why is it important for people to be informed?
mm, to make a decision. To I don't know in English.
I can translate from Spanish if
Yes.
you want. Go ahead. I can translate for you. Puedo traducir.
Que creo que es importante para que la gente pueda tomar decisiones.
Ah, okay.
Okay,
Y
it's
pueda.
important for decision making.
Yes.
If you want to make a decision, and you have to make decisions in your life, it's part of life. Um, it's better to be informed than not informed because the decision uh, will probably be a better one if you're informed. Is that your point?
Yes.
Okay, very well. Then Raminta from Lithuania. The question is more or less the same. Um, what? Okay, technical problems. I will ask you if why is it important for people to be informed? Is like a natural need, or
Okay, so I would add up to Noria that maybe it's because of human curiosity to know the news, because we like to know what happened around us. We enjoy gossip. That's part of our being part of being. It's part of being humans, and yeah. So curiosity.
it's also part of being of our human nature to not just to want to know and need to know others' stories, but also to tell stories. And from the ancient times, even before language was invented, we humans um, were already telling stories to each other. Um, do you think it's also a human need to tell and to know other stories?
I think it is, but also as you mentioned, it's also part of our like when we learn stuff in history classes, it's part of what people have written down and told to each other. So it's also important for us as nations to remember from what kind of history we come from.
Okay, very well.
I would like to add up to that if you don't mind.
I don't mind. I just want you to
Oh,
put
yeah,
the
sorry.
microphone a little closer to
Is it
you.
okay?
Is it perfect?
So, as you guys were saying, of course, it's a human need, but I would like to add it like to the needs of like eating or drinking and getting clothed, because as much as we try to avoid people like from using the word gossip, because it's getting the wrong turn, because
Yes.
it's becoming a bad thing.
Yes.
It's not. At the end of the day, like it's one of the cravings that the humans have. At the end of the day, we need to talk about what's happening or like to talk about what's going on,
It,
and
it's
we
it,
need
it,
to
it's
know.
it's one of the things we all communities have because we live in a community. It's
Of
part of
course, of course.
civilization.
As far as you don't like, you're not a hermit and living like far away from community and social stuff. You have the craving and you need to know somehow. Like as far as you don't do it in public places, okay, but in your private, you somehow want to know and tell, and that's how social media or like news telling channels are getting like their popularity from feeding these people from their craving to know and to tell.
Yes. Sorry. A question I already asked in other opportunities of to your friends, to your colleagues, was how they consume news nowadays. Um, in which platforms? Do you prefer news from TV channels, or from newspapers, or from magazines, or from the internet? Do you like to listen to news, or do you prefer to see also? Uh, the question can be for you, Viola.
Yeah, I think that nowadays most of guys and yeah young people use social media like Instagram or yes newspaper that are on Instagram or reels that are really short because I think like we like our attention decrease. Like I think that we can pay attention for 1 minute, 30 seconds, 1 minute. So there we need really short information, and so for me too, Instagram is the best way to new things. Yeah.
Instagram, you said.
Yes, I use that.
Instagram, TikTok,
TikTok.
Yes.
platforms
Yes.
like that. Facebook became outdated already.
Yeah.
Yes, but social media in general,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
the the social media each generation uses, but social
Yeah.
media nonetheless.
Yeah.
Um, but we're speaking about social media. We're speaking about the internet. We can put Google in the equation also as a search tool. But the, those platforms algorithms are designed to show us what we want to see,
Yeah.
and not
Yeah.
and not to confront us with other views. In an environment like that, how do we know who to trust? And the question can be for you, Ivan from Serbia. Sorry.
Yes, thank you. I can say that I'm a bit old-fashioned. I don't use that much social media, so I get my informations mainly from the TV and the print editions of newspapers, which I get online, but also from the online portals of those newspaper. And questions was how to stay not biased, if I guessed,
Yes,
when
and
Google is recommending us the things that
yes,
we
and
already like. Yeah, that is.
how do we know which sources can we trust, and as you said, not to stay biased.
Yes, yes. I think that is actually why media literacy is very important, because we can't think that Google is going to recommend us different sources that are confronted, so that we can have um, trustworthy opinions based on that. So that is why we have to take sources from both confronted sides when we look at some questions, and then decide how we are going to shape our opinion about some topic that we are doing research on. So when we have more sources, we have a better opinion about some kind of topic. So I think that is the main thing in that story.
Okay. Thank you very much, David. I saw you were taking some notes, but I would like to ask you another thing. In your opinion, what should be the main characteristics of a news article, of a news TV piece?
Um,
It should
I would
be.
like, yeah, probably it depends. It
Okay.
depends who you're directing, who is your audience.
Okay.
As he was saying, he's a bit old-fashioned. I am also somehow. But if you want to address youth, and we were talking about it before, if it's like a politician that wants to get the youth votes, of course, if you go and have like a speech on BBC, nobody's gonna care, nobody's gonna listen to that. Also, because what you're gonna say there, it's not in the interest of the youth. If you talk about hot topics like immigration or other topics that are of course like very relevant to your to the person giving the vote. That's not what the youth is searching for. To go back to your question,
Yes.
um, what how it should be, and
And
what should be.
yeah, I asked about the characteristics.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Also
How
the
it.
how they
I
should
think
be.
that first of all, it should be kept, as Viola was saying, short. It
Yes.
should be kept short and straight to the point. Like the going around the topic, talking about other. Well, of course, it's the way that politicians prefer to talk with, because it keeps them, the most off the hook. But straight to the point, short, direct, and to tell like to you have to direct the audience so that you get what you're searching for.
But these are what you're describing are the rules of good journalism since the beginning of journalism.
They are, of course,
So
but
the way journalism was created and the point of journalism since the beginning is similar to what we are looking for nowadays. So if this is true, why things doesn't work so well?
of course, as you've said, as a human being and a plant, journalism and every other thing, when it grows, it's changed forms. Like when a human being, when he's a baby, he's like the cute little thing, and when he grows, he becomes, a man. And the same is with journalism. When it was like getting invented, let's say,
Yes.
it was that the purpose, like to keep it short and direct and truthful. But like with time, it started changing and adapting to what the people wanted. Like as we've said before, giving gossip and like putting the little spices that you need to make the news tasty, let's say. That's why it started like to shift its credibility, as we were saying, like the words we're using today, truthfulness, credibility. And that's why, because they started like not to give journalism as a fact to give truth, but to satisfy the need of the person.
Yes.
That is the problem. Like for me, at least, that is the main problem for which we're not following the origins of journalism anymore. And to add up to what Ivan was saying, it all depends from the point of view, of course. When we have like a news that regards two people or like two different parties, obviously we're gonna have like, for example, in a war, if Spain and Portugal go to war, we're gonna have the Spain counterpart of the news and the Portuguese counterpart of the news, but we will never have the absolute truth of
Yes.
it.
And it will be really difficult to distinguish what is news and what is propaganda.
Yeah.
And you put an imaginary scenario, but we know real
Yeah, we know the reality too.
real
We know the reality
stages.
too.
Yes.
But not to like address this elephant in the room. Let's talk
Yes.
about Portuguese and Spanish words. And yeah, it's gonna be hard, and that's why like let's even get out of the big picture of a war.
Yes.
In a normal fight between two friends, you're never gonna know the absolute truth, and that's why we need eyewitnesses, which are really, really, really important, at least according to me, and people that have actually experienced the thing, that are not influenced somehow by the propaganda or the other news. But not to keep it like all to me, I would like to hear what my colleagues have to say also.
This idea of two parts, two countries, two friends, as David was saying, having a conflict and having different opinions. They're both our sources. But how can we deal with that, with a reality like that? And the question is for anyone who wants to answer it.
Like, like how we want to deal in which sense?
How can we deal with that? Because we have a font that tell us red and the other will tell us blue, and let's say there are no neutral part. How can we tell that story?
Like taking like considering friends, I think is like listening to each other's stories, and then if you know them, you can like also understand more or less if someone is not completely right or is maybe also invented something. Personally, sometimes I like discovered that things about my life that I didn't even have never done. It happened a few days ago, and I think it's because you like listen just to a part of the story, and from people to people that tell their story, the story change, and yeah.
I would add that perhaps we need to listen to both of the opinions, but also to fact check if there are facts to check, like
Okay.
if there are any like I don't know written things or videos or photos of any kind of
And look for their backgrounds also, for their
Yeah,
history,
exactly.
for what it was before. Um, okay, we were talking about to people, about friends, but when it concerns to countries, to politicians, to political parties, it's also useful to know what they were, to know what they are. Do you agree?
yeah.
Okay, we have reached our time limit. Thank you very much to
Thank
you
you.
all, and thank you again.